Welcome to the Conversation Corner. I'm glad y'all are here tonight. Welcome to the corner. If you're new to the corner, this is where we have a conversation every Friday night about different topics that will help us think a little different and maybe have a different perspective. This is my corner in my office, one of my favorite corners, one that I read in, I think in, just it's a comfortable place. Sometimes I sleep in. So this is the corner. So if you have anything to share as we go along tonight, I'd love to hear what you might have to say. Just type it in there and we can chat, because this is a conversation, and conversation is communication between two people. So if you have anything you'd love to share, I'd love to hear it. So tonight's topic is being a Pooh and a Piglet in an Eeyore world. What day is it? Asked Pooh. It's today, asked Piglet. My favorite day, said Pooh. Shouldn't that the way it always be, is that today is our favorite day? So we're going to talk about some things about how you can be a Pooh and a Piglet, a Pooh or a Piglet in an Eeyore world. Now, if you've watched, maybe it's been a while since you've watched a cartoon with Pooh and Piglet and Eeyore, but what was it that Pooh and Piglet did? Pooh and Piglet were always in a good mood. Sometimes Pooh would be down because there was a rumble in his tumble and he was hungry, and but for the most part, Pooh and Piglet were with their friends, and they were always in a chipper mood and a good attitude. Then here along comes Eeyore. Eeyore is like, nobody wants me, nobody likes me. Well, you just invited me to the party because you had to. I guess I'll go now. But Eeyore was never very happy to be. He was always, something was wrong. The world was against him. Woe is me. Poor little Eeyore. And what did Pooh and Piglet do? Pooh and Piglet were always constantly trying to encourage Eeyore, to lift up Eeyore's spirits, and just help him have a better day. Sometimes they weren't very successful. Most times they weren't very successful. I think in the entire time of the cartoon of Pooh and Piglet and Winnie the Pooh, maybe Eeyore smiled once. So, but did Pooh and Piglet ever give up on Eeyore? Every time they saw him, every time he was like, "Hi guys," they'd always try to encourage him, and they'd always try to build him up. So we're going to talk tonight about ways that you can be a Pooh and a Piglet in an Eeyore world. So we're going to talk about 4 different ways that you can do that. Because what's an Eeyore world? Sometimes, we are around those people that are an Eeyore all the time. We can just watch the news. We can open a paper. We can open social media, and we can see Eeyores all around. So how do we combat that and not be an Eeyore? And how do we bring joy like Pooh and Piglet did to the Eeyores of the world? How do we do that? So we're going to talk about how to do that. And Pooh and Piglet always took time to invest in Eeyore. They always stopped what they were doing to try to help Eeyore have a better day. Sometimes it was just to be with him. Sometimes it was to talk to him. Sometimes it was to cheer him up. But they invested in Eeyore. And that's what we're going to talk about, is the 4 different strategies that to be a Pooh and a Piglet, to invest in others. The first one is that we have to serve their needs, not always our own needs. So to invest in somebody, we have to be serving their needs, not always our own. So Pooh and Piglet are a great example of that. They were investing in Eeyore. They weren't coming along trying to get something from Eeyore. They weren't needing something from Eeyore. They were genuinely trying to encourage and lift up Eeyore. Sometimes the people that we come in contact with, sometimes our Eeyores that we come in contact with, maybe they just need a listener. Maybe they just need somebody to sit there and not say a word and just listen. Maybe they just need a hug. Maybe they've had a bad day. Maybe your Eeyore just needs a hug. They don't need any words. They don't need anything else. They just need a hug. Sometimes our Eeyores just need our time. They just need us to put aside whatever we're doing. Maybe they need us to put up our phone. Maybe they need us to look up from our phone, and they just need our time. They just need us to be there for them. What do you need? What can I help you with? Here's my time. And you know, I talk about this often. Time is the greatest gift we can give that is non-replaceable. If I give money, I can make more money. If we give things, we can replace those things. But time is irreplaceable. So time is the most valuable thing in life that we can give to somebody else, that we can build up our Eeyore, that we can give our Eeyore. So that's the first one, is serve others' needs, not your own. The second one is investment grows over time. So what happens when you start out young, if you start out investing, by the time you're 60, 65, that those little bit of investments over time have grown into a great big investment that will allow you to retire. That will allow you to sit back, quit your job, and say, this is a good life. I invested, over all those years, a little at a time, from check to check, month to month, year to year, and boy, that built up, and now I've retired and I can enjoy that. And the same thing is true with being a Pooh and a Piglet. It may take time. It may take time to invest, to invest in others and see those returns. But you just want to keep adding those just a little bit. You have to be patient. We have to just add value to that person. We make a little deposit. A Pooh and a Piglet. We're the Pooh, we're the Piglet, and we just invest in our Eeyore a little bit. We just make a little bit of deposit, a little bit more. And we start to see that Eeyore have some better days, and then more better days, and then more better days. And then before we know it, they are now less an Eeyore and more of a Pooh and a Piglet. So we just have to be patient. So that's number two. Investments grow over time, so be patient with that. Because in the long run, it will have a big return, a big payback by adding value to somebody else. It will have a payback in their life that they will no longer be an Eeyore or not as much of an Eeyore, and then be able to pass on the same gift that you've given to them. The third thing is enjoy life where you are. You can't invest in an Eeyore if you're not enjoying, if you don't have joy in your life of where you're currently at. How do you pour into somebody else when you're just like, you're always kind of, whoa, is me, that is not as good. Then you start thinking, maybe I'm the Eeyore. So we have to enjoy life where we're at. There's this little cartoon of Pooh and Piglet. Pooh and Piglet, they're sitting on a fence, and they're just talking along. It's in the wintertime. There's snow on the ground, and Pooh falls back, and he falls back on the ground, and he lands, and there's snow on the ground. So what does Pooh do? Pooh just starts making a snow angel. That's enjoying life where you're at. When you fall back and you land in the snow, don't complain because you fell. What opportunity do you have? You get to make a snow angel. How wonderful is that? So on those days that you feel you have no joy, try to find your snow angel. What can you make a snow angel that day? So find your joy. So if you are an Eeyore, you can become a Pooh and a Piglet. So first thing is serve others' needs, not always your own. Second one is your investment grows over time. Be patient, add value. Third is enjoy life where you are. Make your own snow angel when you fall backwards off the fence. And the fourth one is sometimes you need to have a Pooh and a Piglet corner to help others be able to find their joy. A Piglet and Pooh corner, what does that look like? Pooh and Piglet, they had a corner sign that said Pooh and Piglet's Corner. So, what can be a Pooh and a Piglet's Corner? This is a great example of a corner. Sometimes that's what I want to do is, I want this to be the conversation corner, but this is the corner where hopefully I help others find their joy. Maybe today I can be your Pooh, your Piglet, that is adding a little value to your Eeyore life. Sometimes also a Pig and a Pooh corner is a mastermind group. Like I've talked about before, we have on Monday nights, we have a mastermind group. What is a mastermind group? We talk about that a lot, and you might hear me say that a lot. But really is what that is. That's a group of people that kind of think along the same lines, but that doesn't mean that they have all the same ideas necessarily in values, but it's a mastermind that comes collectively together that says, I want to grow. I want some different things. And through conversations, just like here, through conversations, those thoughts start to change. Those things, you maybe have a conversation that sparks an idea, and you go, oh yeah, So having conversations in a group like this, in the conversation corner, in a mastermind group, is a way to have your corner, to be able to find your joy, to communicate with other people that are going along the same path you would like to go. So find your Pooh and a Piglet corner that will help you invest in your Eeyore. So again, just real quickly, the four things is serve others' needs, not always your own. Investments grow over time. Invest in your Eeyore. Add that value. Enjoy where you are. When you fall off the fence, make a snow angel. And number 4 is sometimes you have to have that Pooh and a Piglet corner. Find your Pooh and Piglet corner to help you find joy and turn into spread that around to other Eeyores. So my final question to you in our conversation tonight is, and I want you to think about this and be honest with yourself. Are you a Pooh and a Piglet, or are you an Eeyore? Some days, yes, we're going to be an Eeyore. Some days, yes, we're going to be a Pooh and a Piglet. But my challenge to each of you for the next week, for the next month, for the next year, for life is be a Pooh and a Piglet. Always find that joy. Always build others up. Always add value. Because when you take time to invest in others, it's an investment you'll never lose on. Never lose on. So I appreciate each of you coming to join me tonight in the Conversation Corner. I hope each of you go out from here, from our conversation, to be a Pooh and a Piglet. Again, remember on Monday nights we have our mastermind group at 8 o'clock. It's a wonderful group. It's a great Pooh and a Piglet corner to meet other Pooh and a Piglets. Very rarely we have an Eeyore, but if you are an Eeyore, join us, and we will lift you up. We'll rise you up because it's a very, very fun place. So thank you, and until next week, when we meet again in the Conversation Corner, have a wonderful evening, have a wonderful weekend, and have a wonderful week until I see you again next week in the corner.